SCP-1609 is called The Remains of a Chair, and the thumbnail shows a chair with like a head on the back of it. It looks really bizarre. I'm interested to see what it's all about. This one's by SCP Exposed. Make sure to subscribe to him, guys. If you like reaction videos, subscribe to me, and let's get into this animation.
At the headquarters of the Global Occult Coalition, 3 personnel were observing a wooden chair placed in the middle of the room. For the good of the entire human population, this thing must be destroyed. The personnel picked up the chair and carried it out of the room.
Kill it with fire.
They took it into a neighboring room where a wood chipping machine had been placed. They fed the chair into the machine. The sound of the wood splintering and leather being chopped filled the room. It took about 20 minutes for the whole chair to be cut up, but eventually the machine ejected the tiny pieces of wood and leather out of the spout on its side.
So it's gonna regenerate.
Good job, men. The threat entity has been eliminated. Suddenly, the operative that had spoken clutched at his chest. His eyes rolled back in his head, and blood began to spurt from his mouth. He fell to the floor, and within seconds had passed away. The other 2 personnel looked at each other in shock. Do you think this has something to do with the threat entity? Asked one of them.
Probably.
As soon as the words left his mouth, he also grabbed at his chest.
He
tried to
stop
speak,
talking.
but all that could be heard was the sound of blood gurgling. He
my
collapsed
God.
on the floor too.
No
An autopsy was performed on the 2 deceased operatives. Small fragments of leather and splinters of wood were discovered in the lungs of each body. Welcome back to SCP Exposed. Today we bring you the Euclid class subject SCP-1609. But before I go on, make sure you like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any more SCP stories. SCP-1609 is contained at Storage Site 08 due to the difficulty of transporting it from that location. It is to be contained in a specially designed enclosure at that site, within a flower bed in which a range of aesthetically pleasing flowers and plants are to be cultivated. It is to be used as mulch within this flower bed. The flower bed is to be tended regularly, and all visitors to the enclosure must remark on the beauty of the flower bed, with particular emphasis on the quality of the mulch.
So it's no longer
it is
a
to
chair.
be removed from the flower bed at
mulch.
regular intervals so that it can be treated with wood, metal, and fabric preservatives. Personnel are to announce their intentions in the presence of SCP-1609 before attempting to remove it for this purpose. All personnel assigned to SCP-1609 are required to wear plain clothes in order to prevent accidentally triggering a violent response from it. No items with motors are allowed within a 200-meter radius of its containment area. No personnel, either presently or previously affiliated with the Global Occult Coalition, nor material referencing them, are to be allowed within Storage Site 08. In the event of a violent reaction from SCP-1609, all personnel are to exit the immediate vicinity, and a message is to be played over the site's interior speakers, informing site staff of the event. Should SCP-1609 be sighted outside of its containment area following a violent reaction, staff are to act in a submersive, non-threatening manner. Formal clothing such as jackets, lab coats, protective clothing, jumpsuits, and particularly body armor are to be removed if possible in the case of such an event. And any weapons capable of damaging SCP-1609 are to be immediately discarded. Staff are to ask it to return to containment without attempting to threaten or command it. Should SCP-1609 exit Storage Site 08, agents are to be immediately dispatched in order to scan the surrounding area for the entity, and if possible, retrieve it. At present, there exists no way to totally prevent SCP-1609 from breaching containment. Current containment procedures center on encouraging it to remain within its containment area. SCP-1609 is, at the present time, a pile of splinters, wood chippings, furniture nails, and scraps of bleached leather and fabric. The wooden portions of SCP-1609 are made of oak, and the nails are made of steel. It is capable of teleportation, being capable of moving its entire mass instantaneously between 2 points, without any known limit. It usually uses this to bring its constituent parts together when parts of it have been removed from the mass. But SCP-1609 can teleport its entire mass at once, on at least one occasion at a distance of several kilometers.
So it's
SCP-1609 is capable of splitting its mass, though it does this rarely. Any amount of material removed from its mass continues to display SCP-1609's properties.
Okay.
It has resisted all attempts to remove it from the confines of Storage Site-08, teleporting back to the site of its own accord. However, it has previously teleported out of Storage Site-08 for brief periods before returning, although this has only happened on a couple of occasions since its arrival in Foundation custody. SCP-1609 appears to be in some way sentient. As research indicates, it is able to perceive its environment in a manner that is currently poorly understood, and is able to react to stimuli in an intelligent fashion. Details of its behavior are poorly understood, although it has been ascertained that it will react in self-preservation. And will react aggressively to certain stimuli which it connects with a threat to its existence. Aside from this, it appears to prefer situations in which it is utilized by humans, and will actively seek out situations where it can be put to use if it is left idle. This is the reason for the Foundation's present use of SCP-1609 as mulch, as this prevents it from becoming idle and attempting to leave Storage Site-08. It is theorized that SCP-1609 is capable of understanding human speech or thought, although this cannot be determined as it does not comply with tests designed to gauge its awareness of such stimuli. When exposed to a number of specific stimuli, SCP-1609 will react violently. During a typical violent reaction, it will teleport a portion of its mass inside the lungs of nearby personnel, causing immediate and severe lacerations to the interior of the lungs, as well as pulmonary obstruction, which rapidly leads to the victim's death. Stimuli which can instigate a violent reaction from SCP-1609 include personnel wearing the uniform of, or clothes similar to the uniform of, personnel affiliated with the Global Occult Coalition. The utterance of words or phrases used heavily or exclusively by GOC operatives, such as threat entity, while in contact with SCP-1609. Any action demonstrating hostility towards SCP-1609, and also the sound of a running motor. Violent responses from SCP-1609 are rare. Only 2 such events have occurred since containment. And SCP-1609 quickly reverts to a passive state after such a response if it does not continue to feel threatened. SCP-1609 arrived in Foundation custody on the 26th of October 2004 after teleporting into an unused containment cell at Storage Site-08 in its current state. Careful investigation has revealed that SCP-1609 was originally a large chair made of varnished oak and bleached leather, carved in the form of a reclining woman in a restful state. SCP-1609 appears to have possessed its anomalous properties in this state, albeit with certain limitations. Namely, that the object would only teleport when a person within a certain radius felt the need to sit down or rest without a comfortable seat or chair nearby. At this point, SCP-1609 would teleport to them and remain in place until another person experienced a similar urge. Both Foundation operatives and members of the Global Occult Coalition were made aware of the existence of SCP-1609, which was given the temporary designation of E622. Due to its hard-to-contain nature and the possibility of its existence causing a breach of secrecy regarding the existence of supernatural phenomena, a small-scale effort to contain SCP-1609 was launched by GOC forces. It is presently unknown how exactly GOC operatives captured SCP-1609, but it is known that they succeeded in reducing the objective into its current form using a wood chipper. Further attempts to destroy SCP-1609 failed, due to its properties and ability to teleport away from sources of danger.
Why didn't it teleport?
Following this event, several members of the Global Occult Coalition died under unusual circumstances. Investigation through both official channels and embedded Foundation agents within the GOC has potentially linked SCP-1609 to at least 3 deaths of personnel within the Coalition. Although the true number of casualties amassed due to their mishandling of the item is unknown. SCP-1609 then arrived in Foundation custody. It is unknown how it was aware of the existence of the Foundation, although it is theorized that it entered Foundation custody due to a low risk of further damage to itself. The following is a report written by Dr. Sievert. SCP-1609 represents a perfect example of the flaws inherent in the operating procedure of the GOC, and serves as a cautionary tale for any members of the Foundation who disagree with our practices on containing dangerous objects. Prior to the Coalition getting their hands on this, it was perfectly harmless.
Right.
A chair which teleports
Just
to
a
you
nice
when
chair.
you need a seat is
Why in the
normal
world
compared
would
to
you
most
destroy
of the
that?
stuff that we deal with on a regular basis. When they
Let's keep
put
it
it through a
secret,
wood
man.
chipper, it got hurt, scared, and angry, so it lashed out at them.
Yep.
By trying to protect the world by destroying it, they inadvertently made the situation a whole lot worse.
Exactly.
SCP-1609 went from being harmless to deadly in the space of a few minutes because of the GOC, and we had to clean up the mess. Thankfully, SCP-1609 is pretty simple for us to deal with. So long as we don't do anything stupid around it, it won't fight back and it won't try to leave. Even if it does, it usually comes back. I think I've worked out why.
Like a good dog.
It came to us because it was afraid of the people who had hurt it. That's why
Like,
it
even a
always
good
comes
dog
back.
could be-
It's
could
afraid
be,
of the rest of
you
the
know,
world now, and it's looking
angered
to us for
to where it
protection.
bites.
This is why we have special containment procedures instead of special destruction procedures.
That's right.
If you break something, it's broken forever. When you try to destroy an anomaly, you
Even though
can't take back your
SDP does have a
mistakes.
cool ring to it.
That's what SCP-1609 has to tell us. This is why we're right and the GOC is wrong, people.
Yeah.
What
That's
did you
right.
think of this SCP case?
I liked it a lot, actually. I liked it a lot. The fact that the chair is sentient is really, really neat, and it's common defense mechanisms, right? That's what animals do all the time. I had a dog once, most passive dog you'll ever meet in your life. Little puppy that we had at the house ended up biting it in a very, very sensitive area, if you know what I mean. And my dog lost its mind, almost killed a little puppy. Why? Well, that's what happened. If you'd bite me there, I'd probably try to kill you too. At any rate, guys, we're gonna stop talking about biting privates, okay? This was an awesome animation. Make sure to go subscribe to SCP Exposed and me if you like reaction videos. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.